What up? What up? This is Daily Action Picks. I'm Dan Titus, and I got three of my favorite player props for you today, Sunday edition. We got 4 games on deck, so let's not waste any time. Let's get right into the picks. The first one I'm rolling with is Jrue Holiday, under 8.5 assists. You can grab that at -122 at DraftKings. So the market's been pretty firm at Jrue Holiday at 8.5 assists, but I still think that this is too high considering that Jrue's only gone over 8.5 assists in 1 of 7 games versus the Chicago Bulls this season. And Jrue's registered 6 assists in each of the first 3 contests against the Bulls in this series. But I think that there's risk with Giannis taking over and sharing some of those point guard duties. I mean, Giannis did amass 9 assists in each of the last 2 games to Jrue's 6. So I think that this timeshare is for real, and we'll continue to see Giannis play more point guard in the lineup with Chris Middleton out of the lineup. Speaking of which, in the 12 games that Chris Middleton's been out of the lineup, Jrue Holiday has actually only gone over 8.5 assists in 25% of the game. So I think that this is still too high. I think there's value on the under here. So with him only averaging 7.3 assists per game in those 12 games throughout this year, I'm going to go under. The next play that I like is Jordan Poole over 26.5 points plus assists. You can grab that at -110 at FanDuel. Poole's been arguably the best Warrior over the course of the last month. This guy has been excelling as the starter, and it's no secret he is a bucket getter. And I really like the way he's been facilitating the point guard position as well. And he's gone over this line in 15 of his last 16 games dating back to the regular season. So Denver, they have no answer for this death lineup, the 2022 version of the death lineup. Jordan Poole's been averaging 28.7 points and 4.7 dimes in this series. He's also cleared this line in 5 of 6 games versus Denver this season with an average of 31.2 points plus assists. I don't think Denver can stop this man. And most of our action team is on the Warriors to complete the sweep. Trust, Jordan Poole is going to be making a splash if that's going to happen. I really like his over 26.5 points and assists tonight. Final play that I'm going to go for my best bets is Chris Paul over 12.5 assists. You can grab that at plus money, +114 at FanDuel. So I'm rolling with the point guard here because he's on a mission right now. He's tallied 14 assists in each of the last 2 games in this series versus the Pelicans. And while this line is pretty tight, at plus money, I got to take this gamble here as Chris Paul's been averaging 12.7 assists in this series. In 5 games this year versus the Pelicans, Chris Paul has cleared 12.5 dimes in 4 out of those 5 games with an average of 14.2 assists. That's not to mention how well he's been doing in getting the ball to his star players. With Devin Booker out, this is now the DeAndre Ayton and Chris Paul show. And DeAndre Ayton accounts for 34% of Chris Paul's assists in the postseason, by far the highest on his team. And I think the recipe for success for this Suns team is getting DeAndre Ayton the ball. He was dominated against Giannis Valanciunas. That much is known. So I think if they're going to roll into game 4, they're going to have to get him the ball, and Chris Paul is going to do it. And one thing we know about Chris Paul, he's going to facilitate for the first 3 quarters. And if they're lagging behind, he's going to come on in the 4th as Mr. Clutch, as he's done 2 times already in this series. If you look at the potential assists, Chris Paul is an absolute beast. He's averaging 20.3 potential assists per game in the postseason. He leads the NBA by a considerable margin. So I think that there's plenty of assists to go around for Chris Paul here. I think he continues his hot streak with the dimes, over 12.5 assists for Chris Paul. So to recap my plays, I'm going with Jrue Holiday under 8.5 assists, Jordan Poole over 26.5 points and assists, and Chris Paul over 12.5 assists. Now, I got a couple other ones that I want to throw in here for you for a little bonus. Klay Thompson under 28.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He has failed to go over 28.5 in each of the 5 games this season versus the Denver Nuggets. And in the same game, I'm going to go with Andrew Wiggins over 6.5 rebounds plus assists. He's gone over in 6 out of 6 games versus the Denver Nuggets this year. So a little sneaky play there to get some action in on Wiggins. So if you like my picks, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel for more free picks and plays from the Action Network. And if you want to fade me, make sure you let me know what you're betting on in the comments below. We'd love to see what action you guys are getting in on. So good luck with your bets, and we'll see you next time.